requirements in the context of Facebook, there are a lot of calculations are there. Once you go for your chat list, you can see there's a calculation. If a person is added, there's the number is increased. If the people are removing, the calculation would subscribe and get the reduced number of people. And likes, how many likes, how many comments are there? These are simple addition and subtraction, but these are calculations. Now this is a functional requirement. Not only this calculation, there might be data inputs. What are the data inputs in the same context? You should be able to comment to some sort of comment that you should like to provide. It might be a visual comment, it might be textual comment, whatever the type of comment, or it might be some reaction. Reaction means you can have a like, or you can use an emoji as a data input, or simply you can upload your status. That also a data input. So there are a lot of data inputs available for a given system. So you should find what are the data inputs under the functional requirement. Business processes. Now business processes are the activities that occurring in the system. If you want to add a friend, if you want to remove a friend, if you want to hide your birthday from others, those are business processes. Now everything in here is defined some action that is happening in your system. You are interacting with the system by using these functional requirements. So the functional requirement is a requirement or a behavior that is interact with any of user. It might be yourself, or it might be Facebook admin who is controlling some situations. Lot of system behaviors are available for any given system. You may think about small game, or your mobile phone game, or it might be 3D game, or think about banking system, insurance system. Everywhere there are a lot of activities that we want to do. What are the activities, what are the actions performing in the system? What's a functional requirement is? It's the action happening in your system. Now today or not, if you get any scenario, you should be able to figure out these functional requirements. What's the function, what's the activity happening in the system? It might be a calculation, it might be a data input, it might be a business process, or it might be some another kind of situation that interacting with the system as a function. So this is not the exact same three. There might be lot. You can find lot of situations happening in the systems. So that's a functional requirement. Now we will get an example for a functional requirement. The system, this is a login system. Let me explain this one. The system requests that the actor enter his name and password. Now this is an action. What is the action? Enter his name and password, or username and password. This is the action. This is the requirement. What is this requirement? This is the functional requirement. If the user should not able to enter the username and password, then none of thing is valuable. Clear? Now this is one functional requirement. Then the actor enters his name and password. So now we have given a chance, or we have described there should be a place to enter username and password, or the name and password. Then this is defined already. Now again there's a statement, the actor enters his name and password. Now this is a user responsibility. This is a user responsibility. This is not a functional responsibility. You have to clear these things well. Now the actor or the end user enters his name and password. We have given a chance, we have given a space. Yes, this is a functional requirement. This is a functional requirement. Functional requirement is the system, the requirement that defines in the system. Now in here, this is not a requirement for the system. That is the requirement for the end user. That is his responsibility to enter his username and password. This is a user requirement. Now you should clear these words well. And there's another statement. The system validates the entered name and password and locks the actor into the system. Now there are a few things that discussing. System validates. Now this is an action. This is a function. System validates. That's a functional requirement. Because if the username and password, whenever user enter a username and password, system should validate. This is a validation process. This is a functional requirement. Entered username and password. This is the validation process. This is a functional requirement. And locks the actor into the system. That means if the user is telling about correct validation is success, then this person redirects to the home page. That is another functional requirement. Redirect. This is a requirement. Once you success, then you should go to this page. Now there are three main functional requirements I have discussed. First one is ability to enter details to the system. Number two, validation the user. Number three, redirection the user. There are three functional requirements I have discussed in this case. Now the fourth situation, if user name and password is incorrect, user will get a message. So validation fails. Validation fails. Here functional requirement again, incorrect username and password, and error message. User will get. Clear? Now in here it's another functional requirement. It's another functional requirement. There's a message error. Error messaging here. Now we will see in another aspect. Can't we remove any of functional requirement? Can't we remove any of functional requirement to make the system run as this state, or that the functional requirements we have defined? That means if we remove a functional requirement that is defined in here, is there any effect, or shall we remove? We'll check. Shall I remove this one? I'll go from the end to the start point. If I remove this functional requirement, think it's function 1, this is functional requirement 2, this is functional requirement 3, this is functional requirement 4. Now there are 4 functional requirements. I hope you are clear about these 4 functional requirements. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this functional requirement. This functional requirement is not in the system further. Now what would be the result? User enter the username and password. Validation is failed. System would stay as it is because we have removed this functional requirement. Now you are clear, we can't remove this functional requirement because user should know the system, the entered username and password is incorrect. If you remove this functional requirement, user is waiting and thinking there's some system issue. Okay, I'll remove another functional requirement. I'll remove this functional requirement. If you remove this one, validation is success, user entered the username and password and there's nothing and user stays in the login page. Is that a good solution or a good product? You have entered your username and password and you stays in the same page. No point. There should be some change in the system. So we can't remove this one also. We can't remove this one also. We have to keep this functional requirement. If there's no validation, function 2, validation number 2 or functional requirement number 2, this one. If we remove this one, this functional requirement, then again there's a problem because user can enter anything and log in into the system. That means there's no need of this login function. Obviously, last point, the functional requirement 1, if I remove this functional requirement number 1, user would not be able to enter the details. Now let me clear you how much these functional requirements are worth. How much these functional requirements are worth. If we remove any of these, there are 4 functional requirements. If we remove any of these functions, either this one, this one, this one, or this one, if we remove any of these, then system would not perform the end user's requirement, or end user would get upset. So that clearly defines functional requirements are must, or that should be 100% sure the functional requirements should be in the system. Functional requirements should be in the system. You can't ignore or you can't remove any of functional requirement in a given system or a module. That's a functional requirement. I believe now you are clear about how to understand a functional requirement and the value of a functional requirement, how to understand there's an action performed by the system, not by the user. That's the point that you have to understand. The other thing, the value of a functional requirement, that's very valuable if there's missing a functional requirement. So if you miss to implement a functional requirement, that means it's a problem. It's a huge problem for the system. Now, this is the standard way of defining a functional requirement. Usually, we are following this mechanism. Actually, it depends on the system, business. Some business people would use some different templates, but for a simple document, if you write functional requirement number 1, system should allow user to enter username and password. System should allow enter username and password. Number 2, system should validate the username and password. Here. Sorry. If validate, redirect to the home page. Redirect to the home page. There's another functional requirement. I'll give you a minute. Can you please try by yourself? Functional requirement number 4 to complete your this table. I'll give a not minute around 30 seconds. 30 seconds around. How to write this functional requirement number 4? There's a functional requirement number 4, which is this one, right? Which is this one. And you can check with me once you complete it, or you can speak with me. Yes. Any comments on this? What's your way? Anyone, please?
System indicates an error message.
Yes, perfect. System indicates an error message. That's the function. It's a perfect answer. So for the functional requirement number 4, system should provide an error message. Right? If user, now it should be start like this. If user not validated or invalidated, then you have to tell there should be a error message. Perfect, right? Good. Now this is another example, so you can read this story or the scenario. I'll give around 5 minutes. Actually this is not getting 5 minutes, but for you this is sometimes it might be the first time. I'm not sure what is your background. I'll give 5 minutes for you, and please create that functional requirement table. This one, this table. This is the functional requirement table, right? This is the table. Please, you can use Excel or you can use paper and pen or any other convenient way that for you. Write the functional requirement chart or the table, and let me know your functional requirements. What are the functional requirements that you have understood, and how you are going to write these functional requirements. I'll give around, actually 3 minutes it's more than enough, but I'll give 5 minutes for you, and you can send me via chat or you can email me, anyway, any option that you like. I'll give 5 minutes for you, then you can understand well this situation. Start now. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, can you please share your answers? You can tell, or if you like to share your screen and show. Okay, let me show you how to identify these things. We'll read this story first. Teachers have to create course. Now this is a story or scenario for an online course management system. Now teachers would create the course. Create the course. Once the teacher creates the course, then the teacher can start upload course materials as video files. Now there's an upload. The file should be, the course materials are video files. Create an online quiz. Create an online quiz. Now the teacher should be able to perform these activities. This quiz should be a MCQ quiz. It can have, now this is MCQ quiz, and it can have multiple choice, should be questions. Sorry about that. There's some that word is incorrect. So create a quiz course, then upload course material, then it's as video files. Create online quiz. Create an online quiz. Quiz should be MCQ quiz. It can be multiple choice questions, or yes no questions. Now this is the story, and I have mentioned few uh, there are few things. Now we will see uh, how to define these functional requirements. System should able to provide facility to teachers to create course. This is the functional requirement number 1. Functional number 2, system should allow the teachers to upload the materials. Functional requirement number 2. And there's another situation we are having. Course materials as video files. Is this a functional requirement or we should ignore this statement. Now this is a functional requirement because the end user or our customer is clearly mentioned the course materials are videos. So what we can do is we can mention this as a sub function. We'll name as function number 2.1, or if it is 3 still you are okay, right? If you have mentioned it is 3 still it's okay, no worries, right? There's no perfect boundary in between these things, but you may see or you might realize you should upload in this uploading function describes by this video file. And functional requirement number 2, the uploaded course material, its uploaded course material should be a video. It describes further, see it's in MP4 format. It's very clear, the requirement is very clear. And now this requirement can be mentioned as functional requirement 2. This is 1, this is the video 2.1.1. Functional requirement is the system should facilitate to upload MP4 file format. Video should be uploaded in MP4 file format. Clear? Right. We'll go to the next slide. Create an online quiz. Now this is another functional requirement. We'll mention this as a functional requirement number 3, FR3. This is functional requirement number 3. This quiz should be a MCQ quiz. Now this is functional requirement number 3 is defining the system should facilitate the teachers to create online quiz. The system should facilitate the teachers to create online quiz. Now this is more specified in this quiz. So I would like to introduce like this MCQ can have, this can be functional requirement number 3.1. The quiz should be a MCQ quiz. We'll get a little bit further. It can have multiple choice questions and yes no. Now this is a MCQ quiz. Then what we can do, we can make this as a branches. That means functional requirement number 3.1.1. System should facilitate quiz as a multiple choice question. The quiz should facilitate as a multiple choice question. And there's another functional requirement 3. What is functional requirement number 3? System should allow to create online quiz. 3.1, the quiz should be an MCQ quiz. This is 3.1. 3.1.1, the system should facilitate the quiz as a multiple choice question. 3.1.2, the system should facilitate the teachers to create quiz as a yes no question. Your terms, your functional requirement numbers might be differ from my answer and your answer. Your answer, no one can argue your answer is incorrect. If you have wrote these requirements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 requirements altogether. If you have wrote these 8 requirements, that's more than enough. But if you realize as a project manager and requirements should be more precise and more clear. As a project managers, we have to be responsible to clear the requirement well. After getting the requirements from customers, we should clear the requirements well. That's why I have divided these functional requirements into smaller parts. Now I'll give 1 minute if you want to change or ask any question or modify any question. I have received an answer. I'll check and let you know. Buddha, it's okay. I'll check. I haven't checked your answer. And others, you can ask any question, or if you want to clear anything, or if you want to repeat this again, let me know. I'll help you on this, because you should be very clear. Project managers should be very clear about these requirements. If not, it's a problem. If you have any question, or if you want to get this information into your document, I'll give a minute. Okay, we will move towards there's another example. This should be example number 3. Sorry, I'll give another 5 minutes. I'll give another 5 minutes for you. Try to understand the story and try to come up with the functional requirements. Now you are much clearer than the previous one, so try to complete by yourself. I'll give, for this time I'll give 7 minutes for you actually. Okay, I'll give 7 minutes for you. Then you have more time to understand well, and come up with a solution. I'll give 7 minutes for you. Let's start now. Yes, I think you have completed your answers. Uh, do you have any comments or do you like to share your answers with me? Or if you have any questions, you may ask any question. Okay, let me share the answers with you. Now, we'll again read this story. Now, we'll read again this story. Students have to enroll. Now, this is hope you can hear me, right? Okay, students, you have to find the functional requirements for the following scenario. This is the same online course management system. The other end, the students end. Students have to enroll in a course. Now again, we'll start from the beginning. Students are enrolling for courses. Before register for the course, the student should complete pre-request quiz. There's a pre-request quiz should be completed by the student. Once the student enrolls for the course, then student can start the course. Now student is enrolled by completing the pre-request quiz, then student can start the course. Following activities should be able to perform. Watch the video lessons. Watch the video lessons. Answer the in-class questions or quizzes at the end of the course. Now, do we care about at the end of the course for now? This should be another functional activity which is mentioned under this answer, right? Answering. Once the course is completed, course is completed, the system should provide a certification of completion. There should be some document to be finalized. Now, these are the activities that performing by the end student. Now, what are the functional requirements under this context? System should allow the students to enroll the course. This is the functional requirement number 1. Now there's a prerequisite. Now this is the second sentence. Do I need to change it as F1 and modify it? No need, it's okay. You can state as F2, function number 2. But if you can start from function number 1 here, that's the best. because it's very clear flow. It provides very clear flow. Once the student enrolls for the course, that means this F2 is completed, F1 is completed. Now it's a sequential activity. Student is enrolls for the course, then student can start the course. This is another functional requirement. Student should start, the system should facilitate the student to start the course. There should be a button. If you have any experience in online courses, this is a standard flow that is following. You have to enroll, then sometimes there is a prerequisite, sometimes there is no. If there is a prerequisite, we'll do that small quiz and we'll enroll for the course. Then there's a button to start our course. Then number 4, watch the video lessons. This is functional requirement number 4. This is functional requirement number 4. Answer the in-class questions or quiz at the end of the quiz. Now there's answering mechanism. What we can do is, we'll answer can be a sub activity. We'll define these as main functional requirements. I have skipped last time to understand well. Now if you get functional number 5, system should facilitate the student to face for the in-class quizzes. Functional requirement number 6, system should facilitate the student to face for the quizzes at the end of the course. Clear? Instead of answering questions, this can be divided into 2 parts. Then more clear. Once the course is completed, then functional requirement number 7, student should be able to complete the course after watching videos, doing quizzes, everything. System should allow the student to complete the course. Then functional requirement number 8 is system should provide a certificate for the successful completion. Now these are the functional requirements that I have mentioned in here. Numbering or the text or the description, functional requirement description might be a little bit different from my words to your words. It's okay, don't think about too much about that, but what you have to understand is the requirement. Now whenever you sit with the project management team, especially once the project is starting or once there's a client meetings are there, we have to very clear and precise of the requirements, especially the functional requirements. I have just start your thinking about these functional requirements. You can deep dive up to the extent that you like, but this is the basic understanding of the functional requirement. If you have any questions or any doubts that you want to clear, please let me know, then I can clear you. I'm not sure whether you are doing with me or not, so please be with me, then it's worth for you actually. Since the recordings are there, you can upload, you can watch the materials later and do the same thing, but it's better if you have like real-time interaction with me and share the answers with me. I have seen one answer very nice, very clear. Really appreciated that student. And others also can send emails to me, or you can chat with me, or you can directly ask questions with me, and you can share your answer scripts. If you are gone incorrect, then I can fix you. I'll keep this screen for like 30 seconds around, to if you want to write something, or I'll answer. I'll go to the chat. Is there anything? Okay, if you don't have any questions, we'll move further. Non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirement is a specification or a document or a statement that describes the system's operation capabilities. What is the description of operation capabilities and constraints to enhance its functionality? Now, non-functional requirement is mainly focusing on the operational capabilities and the constraints to enhance. We will see about what are these things. Now, what are the types of non-functional requirements? Requirements are availability, capacity, speed, scalability, security, reliability, recoverability, etc. Now, if we discuss about these non-functional requirements, this is not a core functionality that interacting with the end user. This is not a core functionality with the interacting with the end user, like login, username, enter, password, enter, submit button, upload. No, those are functional requirements. Now these are non-functional requirements which is mandatory to make the system to provide rich experience for the end user. Now, if the system is very slow, you might like upset. Think if you want to log into a system, any given system, not because of your network slowness, but because of the system slowness, very slow. The one page is loading very slowly. The other page is loading very slowly. You will get upset. But if it is mandatory, think it's a mandatory website, you have to fill that. You might wait, right? You might wait. Because of this speed, you won't get out from the system. If your username and password is entered correctly and it's not allowed to your system login, it's a critical scenario. That's a functional requirement. You can't remove it. You have to concern it thoroughly, deeply. These non-functional requirements are like extract same. These are very valuable if that is the system is not secured. I'll get an example. If you are using an e-commerce application and you are purchasing an item, you have entered your credit card details and you are going to purchase. Functionalities are perfectly working within even nanoseconds. Once you click the button, it's working with the highest cutting edge technologies are there very well, and it's implemented rapid, very interactive, very nice. But think, if someone is in the middle and extract your credit card details, it's a problem. It's a problem for the everyone, not only the end user but for the system owners also, because it's leak you have responsible for someone else privacy. Functions are working perfectly, but if non-functionals are not concerned, then it might be a problem. The same description, availability, system is not available, system is always down, a given system is not working well. In any given time, if you are logging, it crashes time to time, then it's not working. Reliable, unreliable system is crashing time to time, unreliable system, you may get upset. But functions are working perfectly. And capacity, there's a specific capacity for your system. After that capacity, you won't do anything. I'll give an example. If you are using Gmail, probably there's 15 GB free space. Now think, if it is increases, now you want to store 20 GB, system would not allow. Functional requirements are perfectly working. You can upload the documents, you can send the mails, you can store the details, yes. But after 15, you can't do anything. Now you will get upset, right? Again. But if you want, what's the current situation in Gmail? They'll automatically allow you to purchase some additional space, storage, even for a cost. Now everything we can't give free of charge, right? Even for a cost, we can increase the capacity according to the customer's requirement. Even for 100 GB or a terabytes or few terabytes, it's okay. Gmail would provide. The capacity can be increased and decreased according to our requirement. So these are the non-functional requirements. These are not the functionalities. These are not the activities mainly involved with the system. But to make these functionalities perfect, we want to integrate these non-functional requirements. So what's a non-functional requirement? Non-functional requirement is a requirement that is supportive or enhance the user experience for a given functional requirement completing in the system. The functional requirements, once we completing all the functional requirements, the underlying or the infrastructural level, we have to think about these non-functional requirements. That's system level, or it might be just a single function. Think as an example, if you want to create a username and password, and this username and password should be entered for two boxes, and until user enter a password, the text box is red color. The text box is red color. And once you say enter the text box, the red color removes and back to green or blue, whatever color. These color changes, by adding this color, the user would not get upset if you are getting username and password that is successful login. But it's an additional functionality. It's an additional infrastructural support for the system or the function. That's why non-functional requirements are very important. Functional requirements are important, obviously, because it's not working. System would not works properly. If the non-functional requirements are not implemented properly, it might cause for a huge trouble. It might cause for a huge trouble. That's the operational capabilities. That's the operational capabilities. The system should run or work in like all the day without any problem. Constraints. What are the constraints that now you are like working as a general user, or it might be an administrator. There are different constraints are there. So these constraints are defined like user and administrator both can log in. There's a login system. But if we get to more deeper dive, we may see there's a non-functional requirement specifically for this administrator some extent. These are the non-functional requirements. Now you are clear about functional requirements and non-functional requirements, as well as the criticality or the importance of these non-functional requirements. If you have any question, please let me know. Right. Under these non-functional requirements, we'll discuss few of them to understand well. Availability or high availability. You may see this word, high availability. The system is operating properly when it's requested for the user. Now, what is this availability means? System is available for use. System is working at any given time once you log in. Now, do you notify to Facebook, I'm logging to Facebook today at 1 p.m. or you using your any other application and you are mentioning I'm going to log into the system in this time, so please allocate. No, that is not the scenario. Any given time if you want to log into Facebook, or any given time if you want to watch a YouTube video, you just jump into the system and do whatever what you want to do. If you want to uh, update your uh, personal profile, you just log into the Facebook and update your personal profile. It's available at that time. Any given time in the world, any other person is logging into the system, in any given time system is working. That's the availability. Now calculating availability is very important, especially once it comes to high available system. If you are like you are telling your system is high available, you should know what is this availability, how to find. Now none of system can work 100% perfectly. That's the scenario. There are a lot of techniques to avoid system breakdowns. There are system maintenance requirements, that kind of things are there. There are a lot of techniques and tools are there to avoid the end user to uh, work with the system without that interruption. Now systems are maintaining. Usually there are a lot of maintenance time is there, but there are automated tools to reduce this time, and there are different techniques are there. End user would not realize any changes in the system. End user would realize the system is running perfectly. So that's why we want to think about this availability. We have to maintain and we have to do everything while system is running. Now, what is this availability? Downtime per year, downtime per month. Now, if a system is running under 99.9 availability, 99.9 availability, if you have seen this text in anywhere, that means for given year, it's only 8.77 hours is down. That means system is not working per year. For the entire year, it's only 8 hours. And for a month, for a given month, it's 43.83. For a given month. For a given month, it might be 43. Sometimes, now you might realize, if availability is 99.9, still there's 43.83 minutes downtime per month. That means system can be closed for around nearly more than 1.5 days. System is not working. Sometimes if you are using Moodle or some another system, they are mentioning due to the system upgrade, this time you want access to the system. If you have read that message forever in any time, that means system is going to down. This is the downtime, that time they are mentioning. This is pre-planned. This is pre-planned usually, especially like system upgrades and system modifications. They are specially telling next July 1st or the August 1st from midnight to 3 a.m. system would not work. There's a scheduled system maintenance or operation. At that time you might get interruptions. Sorry for the inconvenience. Have you ever experienced that? That's the availability. Now at that time system is not available. Now what should be the target? Your availability should be more high. That means your downtime should be low. Now we will go to the next one. 99.95. For a year it's 4.38, and per month it's 21 minutes. It's nearly, sorry, this is for just for 1 hour, nearly 1 hour. For here it's nearly half an hour. Sorry for the last time. This is not days, right? This is minutes. So it's like half an hour per month. Here 99.99, that means for the entire year it's less than 1 hour. For the entire year, any given time you can log, there might be interruptions only for 1 hour. Per month it's 4 minutes. If it is 99.995, that means it's around 26 minutes per year and 2.19 minutes per month. For any given month, you might feel like 2 minutes of system is not available. System availability is lost in 2 minutes per month. Now if it goes to 99.999, there might be more and more. Usually this is the limit, like 99.999 is very hard to achieve, but the realistic value is 99.995. Sometimes some systems are telling it's 100% available. That means there's no system downtime. If your system is 100% available, that means there's no system downtime anytime, or the entire year, anytime the system would work. properly without any interruption. That is availability. Now this is not a functional requirement. Now due to uh, this 40 minutes, all the end users would not get out from the system, or they would not face to a lot of problems. Sometimes users would understand the situation, and they might be patient. But if a functional requirement is not there, it's a problem. But if you can increase your availability, that's perfect. Your end user would really happy. If you can provide 100% available system, really hard situation, but think it's 100% available, then your end users are really happy. That's the overview of availability or high availability. Now it's high available. Now you may see it's high available, right? That's all about availability or the high availability. Scalability, an attribute of a tool or a system to increase its capacity and functionalities based on its users demand. Now what is this scalability means? You should be scaled. You should increase your capacity. Now I will give an example. If there's a network provider, who is increasing their customer base. Now if you are planning, if you are a manager in a network service provider or the internet service provider, whatever the word you like, will get internet service provider, ISP, right? Your ISP is planning to double of your end users or the customers in next year. You are planning. Your system should scalable according to that. Now if the system is acquiring more end users, means your network would get more slower. Then what would be happen? People would upset and leave your network. In Sri Lanka, there are a lot of people are leaving some ISPs due to this situation. They would not scale according to the customer requirements. Sometimes you have heard about this. Macham, I have used this uh, this router. I'm not using further. I'm going to this one. Because the customer base is increasing, system is not increasing. Then customers would get upset because of this slowness. I'll give another example. Now, if you want to store some document, like very valuable documents, it's more than 20 GB. Think there are a lot of documents. You are trying to save in your Google Drive. So if the Google Drive would not support for that, what you do, you leave Google Drive and find another solution. That's the end user's behavior. So as a project manager, you should be able to concern about end users these requirements too. Increase its capacity and the functionalities. Now what are the functionalities? System should scalable. Scalable means, now currently you have a function like 5 functions. You have 5 functions in your system. Think it's a small library management system and you have like just 5 functions. Borrow a book, return a book, find, likewise few functionalities available. But now your university is planning to expand this library system to integrate with IEEE Explorer or some another reputed journal, another reputed book publisher. They have like join together, and now you want to scale it. You want to increase the size of your capacity, not the physical capacity, but the digital capacity. You should be able to provide, or you should be able to support, your system should support for this functionality. That's the scalable system. Your system is scalable. It can increase and decrease according to the end user's requirement. It can increase and decrease the system according to the end user's requirements. What is decreasing? Now think you are you have handled a huge software company or a company which is using a paid storage to store your videos. Now you have realized it's like huge cost. I would like to use YouTube instead of this huge cost. And think like your company, you have asked from the company, currently I'm paying for this amount. From next month onwards, I don't want this much, like 100 GB currently you are using. I don't want 100 GB. Please allocate only for 5 GB from next month onwards. I'll remove the 95 gigabyte data storage from your service, your storage. Then your company should be able to, the other company that you are the person who is working, the other company should support, yes, okay, will decrease your capacity according to your requirement. It's okay. It's not a fixed requirement. Or functionalities can be removed. You know, some functionalities that which is not used by users in many times. After the user experience research, they'll remove some functionalities. Why? Because of no one is using, or it can be merged with a new functionality, or it can be introduced as a new functionality with more rich experience, with more features, rich features, to have more rich experience for the end users. Right? That is scalability. Scalability testing is to measure what point the application stops scaling and identify the reason behind it. It means scalability testing is the testing of a software application to measure its capability to scale up or scale out in terms of any of its non-functional capability. Now, to confirm this scalability, now previously the availability we have tested by the time, how much time the system is using, how much time the system is required. But in this case, the scalability can be tested based on the testing. At this point, we'll scale the system up to some extent, we'll increase the scale, and we'll test where this scaling is breaking, where the system is breaking. That is the scalability testing. This is under the performance testing. And scalability testing is finding the maximum scale for this given software. And there are like different scaling types are there: horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, likewise there. So if you like, you can go through more towards this scalability. Security. Techniques that assess, mitigate and protect software systems from vulnerabilities. Now, what's a vulnerability? Vulnerability is a point that the unauthorized person or unauthorized code can access your software. It's a small hole in your system. At that point, the hacker or the malicious code would access to your system and interrupt your business. So security is very valuable and required, highly required, non-functional requirement. Now, what is this security? Assess. You have to assess the things. How much your security. There are tools for security assessment and mitigate. How do you mitigate? What are the third party tools? What are the other tools? What are the risks we can arise? We have to mitigate these risks and protect software systems. We have to protect the software system. Now it's like a chain. There's a security testing. You have to uh, understand about these things because security is very valuable, very important. So you have to have this understanding. Well, this circle, this small circle, is providing an overview of this security cycle or security testing. Once you define the scope, then define information is gathered, then planning and analysis would do. Then vulnerability detection. This is like common structures. Probably you have heard these things. In here, vulnerability detection is detecting the places that would explore to the environment, or this would be a place that can exploit by a malicious software code or a piece of code, or might be a hacker or physical or human. This vulnerability should be detection. Then penetration testing. You have to test the, this is penetration testing, is the security testing. This is a testing type, and this is the penetration testing. Then performing report and analysis, then remediation testing. This is another testing whether that problems are solved. You know, if you are doing an e-commerce application or any other application, it might be a small website. There are other people who want to disrupt your business. They might find your security issues and attack to you. Your system functionalities, your functional requirements are perfectly working. But unfortunately, if the security is not there, unauthorized person can access your system and disrupt your business. So what you have to think? You have to think about security well. You have to think about security well. It might be the perspective of the entire system, or it might be the perspective of different components like database security. You have to separately think about the database security, how the database is secured, or network security, how you provide the network security when transferring the data packets here and there. Likewise, you have to think about these well. So this is another non-functional requirement and very valuable requirement. Maintainability, it's very simple. Maintainability is how easy it is for your system to be supported, change, enhance, and restructure over time. Now it's the maintain. You should be able to your system according to the requirements. It might be changed, or your system is changing for something, or it might be some sort of an enhancement. Now you know, time to time user interface is changing in many websites to make the users to fresh view. At that case, your system should maintain and restructure. It might be able to restructure. Now currently your system is not using that hamburger icon for the navigation bar. Then you can restructure your system user interface and add the hamburger icon. What is that hamburger icon? This one, right? I think you have in your mobile phone. especially your mobile phones, there are 3 lines in here. The topic is here, Facebook is here, and here the navigation bar. This is the hamburger icon or burger icon sometimes actually. This is the icon. Right? Now this is not introduced initially for your system. Now what you are going to do, you are introducing this one. So your system should maintain. It's a maintainability. It should able to provide this change to the system. That is maintainability. The ease with which of a software system or component can be modified to correct faults, improve performance, or other attributes, or adapt to change environment. Again, it's a definition I have got. So this is like another definition to find the correct faults. Now your system is like currently like there's a username and password, and there's a fault if you have used more than 45 characters for the password, you will access without any problem. Think such kind of situation, it's a fault, right? It's a bug in the system. So you should maintain this system and upgrade or change the situation to make your end user more happy and improve the performance. There might be some performance degradations due to some another situation. We will get an example. Now your system is not performing well because your system is developed using HTML and CSS, and there might be an enhancement or performance improvement can be used by CSS preprocessor like SCSS. You can enhance. Now once you are enhancing, you are changing your technology to CSS to SCSS. It should be adaptable to your environment. That is the mean of this maintainability. Right, that's a bit about maintainability. Now this is like a small overview of the entire situation: availability, maintainability, and reliability. Describes, determined by, and improved via. So these things are just I have uh, extracted from internet this table. You can understand this, how often the service can be accessed. Monitoring metrics, it can be determined by monitoring metrics, and improve can reduce in the downtime. I spoke it a little bit earlier. Maintainability, how easily incidents can be responded to. How we can determine the code base and the incident response. How to improve, eliminating technical debate, improve response procedures. This is like a small comparison. And reliability. Haven't spoke this reliability. What is this reliability? Is the user's perception of service working as expected. Your system is working as expected. Now this is not the availability. Availability is your system is available. This is reliable. It works as expected. That's a difference. Available means your system is you working in this given period of time or period. Reliable means the system is working as expected. There's now there are some situations sometimes you have faced. The screen is like scrambled here and there due to some reason, and sometimes once you submit a form, you will get some sort of very technical detailed response. It might be Apache Tomcat server, this thing is not working. That is the reliability. Your system is not reliable at that time, but system might be available. System is up and running, but some services are not working. At that time, you might get upset again, and this is very important. Another non-functional requirement. Tools reflecting user impact such as slows. So we can use slows for these things. And site reliable engineering. Right now, this is very enthusiastic path or newly introduced fast growing path, site reliable engineering. You might see in this job roles now posting here and there in companies. There are site reliable engineering practices and cultural lessons. This is another this is another art and science actually. This is not totally a science, it might be some sort of art also, site reliable engineering. Now, what is happening in here is make sure the system services are working. What are these services? Like once you log in, you have a small service, a given component, a single service. It is not the entire system. If you are trying to enroll for a given system, it's a small service, it's a small component. So if it is affecting for this small component, that might be this reliability impact. If this small component is not working, your system is unreliable system, or you can't keep, like sometimes it works, sometimes it not working. I'm not sure about that. Once you log, you will get some sort of errors. I don't know how to read these things. Once I refresh few times again, I have to start from the beginning. Have you experienced these things? That is your system reliability concept. If you are using only Facebook, you might not face for these things well because they are performing well. If you are using only YouTube, they are performing well, you might not see these errors. But if you jump into another sites, you can face these reliability issues well. I think now you are clear about these non-functional requirements, and there are two main test types. There load testing and performance testing to test these non-functional requirements. Now, because non-functional requirements is not a requirement or the function that is running in your system, so you can't input the data and you can check whether it's working or not, or you can't check whether this function is working properly. So you have to use another set of tools to check whether the system is working as perfect non-functional requirement or not. So you can use load testing. Actually, everything under this umbrella of this performance testing, this system performance well. Under this performance testing, you can see load testing, stress testing, lot of vulnerability assessments like penetration testing. Likewise, lot of testing types are there for non-functional requirements. And if you are planning to move towards in testing job role or software tester or test engineer, so this is a good thing to learn well about this load testing, stress testing kind of things. Right. Now I have given another story. I have given another story. So this story or the scenario contains both functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Now you have experienced how to write the functional requirements. What you do, functional requirement 1, then the description. Same, you will add some sort of functional requirements. Now how to add these non-functional requirements? You just extend the same one, same table, then non-functional requirement 1. Then you have to tell the system should perform availability 99.99 uptime. Functional requirement number 2, the system should reliable under these things, and this system should expand the storage capacity in any given time from 15 GB to 1 terabyte. Those are scalability related, or that's a non-functional requirement. Likewise, this story contains functional requirements as well as non-functional requirements. Functional requirements and non-functional requirements. So what you have to do is you have to write a complete table of functional requirements and non-functional requirements in this story. Once you complete, you can share the story with me. Since it's like another additional component, I'll give around 10 minutes. I'll give 10 minutes, so it's more than enough. 10 minutes to complete this activity. You read this story completely. You read this story and start writing the functional requirements and the non-functional requirements. Okay, I'll give 10 minutes for you. Then I'll help you if you can't, but try by yourself. That is the best thing. Now, if you are fear, right, I'm getting false, I'm getting incorrect, I'm not sure, it's okay. Still you are students, right? No one will laugh at you. Or if you don't have any failure experience, that means you don't know there's a failure situation. So you can discuss with me, or you can chat with me, or you can speak with me, or you can send an email if you have any question. Then I can help you on that. And now I give 10 minutes to you to complete this activity. Meanwhile, if you have any question, I'm here. You can ask any question. You can chat with me, or you can directly speak with me regarding these functional requirements and non-functional requirements. You should have comprehensive knowledge about these functional requirements and non-functional requirements, how to understand it, how to write it properly, and why we need these functional requirements and the criticality of these functional and non-functional requirements. You should have good understanding about these things. Okay. Now you can start. I'll give 10 minutes for you to complete this small activity. Yes. Do you like to share the screen or? Yes. Uh, Now I think your time is up. Do you have any questions to ask, or if you want to share any c- comment on this, or if you want to add something? I think you have understood the uh, entire solution. Uh, right, I got one answer. Really nice. Really appreciated your answer. And we will see how to understand the functional and non-functional requirements from this story. In a given system, users can upload files. Users can upload files, video files. Upload video files. Upload the video. There is a button called upload. So in your system, there's a button called upload. This is the button called upload. Okay? This is the upload button. Before uploading the video files, the system should check the upload speed. Now you have to check the upload speed. If the upload speed is slow, then the system should show a red color outline in the upload button. Now what is that line is for? So before you performing any upload, you should check your network speed, your internet speed, upload speed. If it is low, this button, the outline of this button should be in red color. Outline should be. If the user, if the upload speed is high, the system should display green color outline in the upload button. Now your your network speed is high, then your button is outlined with green color. Same upload button. Upload outline the green upload button. If the user stops uploading the video, now in any case, now you have clicked this upload button, then file is uploading. Now if you feel that I want to stop this, you can close this browser, or you can shut down your computer entirely, or it might be a network error. Your network is not working, your network is down due to some situation. The use from end users side, the end user is stop the uploading. The system should keep uploaded part in the system database. Now there's a small part, even if you have started, there's a small component, it might be 1 megabyte or few megabytes stored in your database. It's stored in my database, right? Stored in my database. System upload, system maintenance has to minimize, hence the system should available at least 99.9 uptime. Once the system is deployed, the system should host with implementation of SSL security certification. There's a security certification or security requirement to have this SSL. Now very simple story. What are the requirements in here? Yes, user system should allow the end user to upload video files. This is your functional requirement number 1. Upload speed, it's not a functional requirement, it's a non-functional requirement. So I'll ignore for now because I'm searching about the functional requirements. If the upload speed is slow, the system should red color outline the upload button. Now again it's color, so color is not a functional requirement, so we'll ignore it. Upload button speed is high, the system should display green color, so still the one functional requirement. If the user stops uploading the video, now there is a problem in here. User stops the uploading the video. Now there are different situations. The end user might end the uploading by closing the entire browser, or it might be another network issue. Different situations from it is stopping from the end user. But for now, we have to assume the requirement is not clear. We have to get an assumption there's a cancellation button. Now previously I told we can take assumptions, but we have to get the confirmation from end users. Now this requirement should clear, right? Now this requirement should clear, but as an assumption we can get there's a cancel button. In this system. If you are making an assumption, you should write it clearly and get the information from your client. But I got an assumption there's a cancellation button because they are telling if the user stops uploading the video. By default there might be situations, or it might be but not by default, due to some network related issue or some another physical issue related to the uploading can be case, or it might be user wants to cancel the uploading. So I take an assumption. System should then I'm making another assumption to make this one as a function number 2. Now system should allow the end user to cancel the upload. System should facilitate the user to cancel the function, cancel the uploading. That's my functional requirement number 2. Then system should keep uploaded part in the system database. Right? Now this is another functional requirement number 3. What is the functional requirement number 3? Whenever user starts, system should facilitate the end user by starting, or when it is starting video uploading, each small part should store in the database. That's the functional requirement number 3. It's a functional requirement. Each and every bit should store. Data is transferred as packets. So once you are uploading, the entire document would not upload. It uploads as a small chunks. So what's this requirement mentioned? Whenever user or the system, so end user click this upload button, it starts the uploading the video file into the relevant system. Then whenever you start the uploading, it should store in a database. That's my functional requirement number 3. System maintenance time has to minimize, hence the system should be available at least this much of time. So this is a non-functional requirement. I have ignored it. Once the system is deployed, then the system should host in this thing and thing. Now how many functional requirements I have figured out? 3 functional requirements. Uploading, system should facilitate upload the file. Functional requirement number 2, system should facilitate the end user to cancel the upload. Functional requirement number 3, the system should store each and every video file once it's starting the uploading. Right? Now if you get think about the button story, I have mentioned it's as a user should be upload the videos. That means we should not again mention there's a button. If you want to mention about the button, then what we can do is the system should provide a button to upload the videos. Clear? That's the functional requirement should in the system. Right? Then what are the non-functional requirements in here? Now I have mentioned about the functional requirements. If you have mentioned in here, if you want to create another button, still it's okay, right? No one can argue it's incorrect. No one can argue it's incorrect, but you can enhance your statement. Right? Now we'll see what are the non-functional requirements in here. What are the non-functional requirements in here? There is a upload button. Okay, in here we have to check the speed. System should measure the speed, right? System should find the speed. System should check the upload speed. The system should check the speed. This is my non-functional requirement number 1. And if the upload speed is slow, the system should show a red color outline. Now what's my non-functional number 2? That means my non-functional 1.1. Why it's 1.1? Network is slow. The system network is slow. The upload button should represents in red color. That's my non-functional requirement 1.1. Yes, what's the non-functional 1.2? If the system is fast, then upload button is in green color, outlined in the green color. That is my non-functional requirement number 1.2, right? Then what is the other requirement in here? This is green color. System should upload part of the database. We have discussed about that. System maintenance time too has to be minimized. Now they are telling system maintenance should be minimized. Hence, system should available at least 99.99 9 uptime. It's another non-functional requirement. That is my non-functional requirement number 2. System should available at least 99.9 uptime. 99.9 uptime. Now that means your uptime is 99.9. That means system maintenance has to be minimized. This is the same sentence described in numbers in here. Same sentence described in here. That's the uptime. That's discussing about your availability. System should available at least 99.9. There's another requirement. The system should have implementation of SSL security certification. If you don't know about this SSL, still it's okay. They are telling about security. Security certification. They are discussing about security. What is this security? Another non-functional requirement. Non-functional requirement number 3. System should implements with the SSL security certification. Your answers might be up or down, might be exact same, might be small modifications, sometimes totally different, sometimes totally different. I think now you are very clear, very well understanding about this functional requirements and non-functional requirements. What is a functional requirement? What is a non-functional requirement? Importance of functional and non-functional requirements, and clearly understand user requirements and the system requirements. Very clearly understand about the user requirements and the system requirements, and what are the core features of non-functional requirements like speed, availability, testability, maintainability, lot. And finally, you have very well understanding about how to map a given story or a scenario and divide into functional and non-functional requirements. I'll keep the screen for another minute. You can ask any question related to this functional and non-functional requirements. Or regarding this question, if you have any question, like if you want to argue about anything, if you want to add anything, if you want to modify anything, I'm flexible with you. You can discuss with me anything. Right. If you don't have any question, we'll take a break of 10 minutes, and we'll start project management methodologies. So it's 10:48. We'll get 10:50. We'll come to the seat 11 o'clock. I'll give today 12 minutes, right? We'll come to sit at 11 o'clock. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask in the break time also. I'm here with you. You can ask any question. Okay, we will start project management methodologies. This is like a little bit lengthy lesson, so I won't able to complete this today itself. So you might get another 2 hours after completing today. So that means next day around. Next day we will complete, and today we will try to complete majority of the parts except red. We'll complete other main key things, right? Software sorry, project management methodologies, like I'll give an introduction, a small introduction. uh, like if you want to develop a product, it might be a software product, it might be not a software product, but since we are from information systems environment or business environment, we want to follow a step by step process to achieve our targets successfully. We want to achieve our target successfully. As common restrictions, time, scope, cost, and resource management, everything is there. So it's kind of overwhelming process to achieve all the things at the same time and complete it successfully and deliver the product successfully to the client with minimum bugs, and the customers are happy. To achieve this target, to achieve this goal, this very hard target, there should be a mechanism or a method from manager's perspective or project manager's perspective to achieve this goal. These methods are known as project management methodologies. There are different project management methodologies available in the world, which is fit for different business requirements. According to the business requirement, according to the requirements, according to the solution that we are trying to deliver, by concerning about those things, by concerning about the things that affect for the final product, we have to select most appropriate methodology. You have to select the most appropriate methodology. Today I'm going to discuss about some basic things, basic uh, methodologies, but these are the most used or widely used methodologies. These are not actually basics. These are very comprehensive, very deep stories behind the subject. So we will go to some extent and understand up to like rough understanding we'll get. And if you like to deep dive, it's in your hands. You may search, you may find anything. Some references are in my slides. I appreciate if you can visit those slides, those reference links, and if you can learn more. Now, what are these software methodologies? Like waterfall, agile. Under the agile, there are different frameworks available like Scrum, Kanban, Red, like this, and Six Sigma. This is another aspect in project management methodology. So basically, I'm going to discuss about these methodologies. So if you speak about waterfall, Scrum, Kanban, Red, Six Sigma, that means we are discussing about around 5 software project management methodologies. But there are more. There are more project management methodologies available. We will discuss about these software project management methodologies. waterfall model. This is a sequential method. This is a sequential method. Last week I have introduced you this waterfall model, and I have discussed about up to some extent a small understanding about. Now you know what's waterfall. You have some basic understanding about what's the force of waterfall model. And these are the steps related to waterfall model: requirements, design, implementation, verification, maintenance. There are different stages available, different descriptions available from the initial introduction to today world. There are a lot of modifications happen to this waterfall model, but roughly this is the phase that we are collecting the requirements. It might be an interview, it might be a questionnaire, it might be some kind of observation mechanism to grab the requirements. This is the requirements gathering phase or getting requirements. Then this is the design phase. Design phase means the requirements are converting into an asset. Usually in the design phase we are having some sort of diagrams, design architects, architectural designs. Likewise we have to create sometimes user interface designs. At this phase we have not coded, no programming is involved in here. Under this case there might be use case diagram, it might be ER diagram, it might be class diagram, or it might be activity diagram. Likewise, different aspects of the software is visualized in here under the design phase. Once we complete design phase, we move to the implementation phase, which is the source coding and testing. Especially like verification also here. Implementation mainly focusing on source code, like test the programming using a suitable programming language and suitable database language. We have to implement the software. In here we have an digital asset to show to the environment. This is the software that we have developed. And under the verification we are confirming this is the actual requirement of the customer that mentioned to us. This is the actual requirement mentioned by the customer. This is the verification. And here the maintenance part. Now any given software would not stop. Any given software would not stop. It's like extending. It's extending each and every time due to the customer requirements, different management requirements, different technical requirements. Everything affects for here. So this is the maintenance phase to maintain the software properly. So under the maintenance we might get real world user requirements and we'll implement those things. Sometimes it might be like different bugs found in the system, so we have to fix those requirements, fix those bugs. Then we have to implement a new solution. Likewise, we have to develop or continuously we have to move our system towards the success end. That's the maintenance component. Now, if we discuss about a little bit of this waterfall model further, this is very rich method, because if there's something gone wrong, that means you might face for huge problem. You might face for a huge problem. So the best solution, so the best thing that we can find is clear the requirements well, 100%, or at least up to 90%. Our requirements are very clear. Our requirements are very clear. Because if an issue find in any phase after the design, especially like implementation and verification, that means like high cost, because we have to go to here back again to the requirements and come to here again to the verification. That's why this process is very tight process, very hard to maintenance if our requirements are changing rapidly. If our requirements are changing rapidly, this is not the best fit. And this solution, this model was proposed by Winston R. Ross. So he's the founder of this model. He introduced this. And even in the initial phase, even in the initial introduction, he introduced a lot of things. He introduced a lot of ideas related to this waterfall model. I have added the original document in this PowerPoint slide, so please go through that document. It's really interesting how he has described this waterfall model. And sometimes if you refer a website, how much it's deviated from the original design, you can understand it well. Next we will go to agile. As I initially told, agile is mainly focusing on rapid business changes. When now currently the situation is like the requirements are changing very fast. After a few months, the requirements can be totally changed. After a few months, the requirements can be totally changed. So it's a problem. If we are trying to solve the problem entirely and hand over the solution, the entire solution to the business environment is changed, then the business would reject our software solution. The system would be rejected. To avoid that, these agile methodologies are available. Under this agile methodology, we wish to discuss about mainly Scrum, Kanban and RAD. RAD is actually a rapid application development. We will discuss that also in deeply. And under the agile context, release the product easily and regularly. Now the problem is like, if we discuss about this problem phrase, now our project is started 2010. Our project is started, and we are planning to deliver it on 2020. For this 10 years, there might be requirements changed, new technologies arrived. Likewise, different things was happened. Even some versions, Angular 1.x2 totally changed to another version. Python 2.2 changed to something. JavaScript changed. Lot of things has changed. Even if we are delivering more later, there might be another problem. If we develop this product for 10 years and delivery means a problem, what we can do is we can regularly and easily we are delivering the product. How? We are delivering small components. With the timeline, and we can get this solution in 2020. It's okay, but meanwhile what you have to do is you have to deliver small components. Then in any case, think this component contains a problem, then they can go back and fix it very easily. If the problem occurs in here, the software is delivered in here 2020, you have to come far back and fix the problem. To avoid that problem, regularly we are delivering small components, and it's easy to understand to the customers and the development team too, because we have only very small task, micro task, easy to manage, very easy to manage. We are concerning about a small scope. Now under the agile, first I would like to introduce Scrum. This is like a buzzword in current world. Scrum. Scrum contains sprints, and it has roles like product owner, scrum master, development team. I'll discuss about this sprint a little bit later in a separate slide. We will start with the discussion with these roles. Now Scrum, in this framework, there are 3 roles. The first role is product owner. Product owner defines the features and the requirements. Now this is the person who is responsible to define the features and the requirements. What are the requirements that I want to deliver within this sprint? What are the features that you should export in this sprint? And accept and reject the changes. Accept and reject the changes. Now you have developed a software product, very small software product, and you are delivering it to your product owner. Then your product owner will tell, this is the extract solution I have requested from you. Or it might be rejected. No, I haven't asked this solution. I have asked something else. I have asked something else. That's the responsibility of this product owner. The next one is Scrum Master. Scrum Master. There are Scrum Masters available in here now. Who is this Scrum Master and what's his responsibility? Scrum Master is responsible for product. He is the role of project manager, but it's not the project manager. He's not the project manager. He's a Scrum Master. Those two are two different roles, but for current perspective, now you have understanding about a project manager. Now Scrum Master is likewise uh, a person who is responsible for the entire team, for the entire delivery means the software product. Scrum Master is a responsible person for the developers, how the development product is moving. So that's the role of this Scrum Master. And development team, these are the usual software developers that is developing the software. Under the Scrum, there are mainly 3 documents producing. First one is product backlog. This is a priority list. The entire product is described in here under the prioritized way. Usually this is a user story. What's a user story is a functional requirement with the user role. A functional requirement with the user role. I will give an example. An administrator needs to create a file upload to the ABC server. So the job role is administrator. The system should support for the system administrator. What is the functional requirement in here? Upload the document. That's a user story. There might be non-functional requirements too under these user stories, but usually it's like usual situation is like 99% it's a functional requirement, a user story. Then the sprint backlog, we will discuss this thing well. Current status of the sprint. First of all, we have to understand about this sprint, then we will come to this current state of this sprint and the burnout chart, focus plan and the actual plan. Now under this burnout chart, we have to represent what is our plan and what is the actual status in current. We will discuss now these things a little bit deeper. Sprint. Sorry for the interruption. Sprint. We will discuss about what's a sprint. They are fixed length events of a month or less to create constantly. A new sprint starts immediately after the conclusion of previous sprint. Now what is this? Sprint is a time chunk or a time slot, fixed length events of 1 month or less. So sprint is a time duration for fixed length of events. That means you are clearly defined how many events happen in this time period. 1 month or less. The time duration is the duration of this sprint is 1 month or less. Usually it's 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes they are interpreting like 2 to 4 weeks, but what I have realized is 2 to 3 weeks is the industrial usage. That means within this we will get 3 weeks of the sprint. Within these 3 weeks you should be able to complete these tasks or these events. So sprint is a fancy name for this story, or you have a limited time with a limited scope. It's a sprint. Your limited time is 1 month or less. Your scope is fixed length of events. It might be create a login for these 3 months, 3 weeks. For these 3 weeks, we are going to develop a login. Under this login system, we have username and password as well as OTP code. Then we are focusing on these things. That's it. At the end of the sprint, we are delivering a login to the system. A new sprint starts immediately after the conclusion of the previous sprint. Now, a software product is not complete within 1 month. This is the 1 month time. After 1 month, it's evolving. So in here, this is the place that we have completed our sprint. Our sprint is completed in here. Now what we are going to do? We are immediately starting our next sprint. This is another sprint. Immediately we are starting after end of this sprint. It might be another month. In this sprint, we have delivered a login. And in here, we are planning to have a recovery, a system recovery. Now this sprint, at the end of the sprint, there's an achievable output. What is the advantage? Now unfortunately think while in this month this requirement is changed. It's okay, we can stop our sprint in here. Think it's our requirement is changed in week of like 15th of day. We'll get second week our requirement is changed. Now immediately we can start our next sprint. This sprint is initially planned for 1 month, but requirement is changed. So this sprint will get S1 is stopped from here, the requirement change in here, because we can work on this fixed length of events. If the events are changing, sprint is changing automatically. Then in the second week onwards, we have another sprint S2. Then we work on this sprint. Now initially for the first requirement, our customer is told I want to create username and password with the OTP. Now we have developed 2 weeks of work. Our customized requirement is changed. I don't want to create a username and password with OTP. Instead of create a fingerprint based system. Now the requirement is changed. The initial requirement was planned here to complete within 1 month. Now the requirement is changed. So we can't go back, right? We can't go travel back to the time and start from here. Immediately we stop the sprint and we start another sprint and we move towards with the fingerprint. This is new requirement. What is the advantage? From the business perspective, we are from the software developers. We are getting huge benefit because we can build for this 2 weeks, though there's no any output. It's not our fault. It's the fault of our uh, customer, or it's not a fault of our customer. It's the requirement of our customer. Neither way, we have done our work. We have done some sort of effort, so we can bill for that. We can take money for these 2 weeks, and we can start again, and we can start give another delivery date. If there's no sprint, we have promised to complete within 1 month. Then our customer modify the requirement within 2 weeks. Then the new requirement should complete within these 2 weeks. It's another risk. Since we are using sprints, we can inform to the customer our previous sprint is completed. Now think it's Jan 1st. Jan 1st onwards, Jan 30th is the sprint. Here it's 14th. Now you can inform to your customer, sorry, we are starting our sprint on 14th of Jan. So your product will delivery on 14th of February. We have built for this time slot as well as this time slot, and we have minimized the risk of this 2 week urgent requirement. Now what is the benefit for the sponsor? Or the product owner? Product owner is the person who is uh, giving the requirement for us or providing the requirement for us. What is the advantage of the customer? Now if we go the standard traditional software development methodology, we have to wait another 2 weeks, or the end user would upset, why can't you deliver within 31st? This you have promised to complete within 31st. Why you can't complete within this time slot? Now as a product owner, I can understand, yes, my requirement was changed on 14th, so it's fair enough to get another additional 2 weeks. So you can start, you don't want to stop from 31st, you can extend the task up to 40th. It's very valuable for me. I'm not upset because it was clearly informed to me. And if I want to change the requirement, immediately I can change. Now think you can start a project while starting the discussion with the director board. We can instruct to the development team, I'm the product owner. I can instruct to the, I'm the product owner, I'm instructing to my development team, you may start the product. I have instructed on Jan 1st. Jan 1st. And Jan 3rd, the requirement was refined with a small modification. A very small modification. Think it's a username, password, and password characters should be more than 8 length. That is the final conclusion. That's the only modification. So I have saved 3 days. If we started on 3rd, our product would deliver on 3rd of Feb. Now, since I have took the decision to instruct to the development team, start the product now. So Jan 1st is the starting date. So they would deliver the product on Feb 1st. As a product owner, I would get the profit for this additional 3 days. Sometimes it's 3 lakhs or 3 billion. Delivering a product earlier as possible means we are getting more profit. Likewise, there are a lot of advantages for both sides by introducing this sprint. But make sure sprint is not messing up the projects. Currently, I have heard lot of software companies, they have started this sprint style delivery and requirements changed in here. Requirement was changed like around 2 weeks, the usual scenario, 2 weeks. And still your project manager or the scrum master is struggling to deliver the product on 31st. That is not the agile, or that is not the sprint. That is not the proper solution. That is not the scrum. It's a fixed length of events. So you should understand fixed length of events. You can't add or remove the events here and there time to time. If it is changed, immediately stop and immediately start the next sprint. That's the proper solution. For a successful sprint, there are activities. I have mentioned about only 2: sprint planning and daily sprint. Uh, Successful sprint is mainly focused on the sprint planning, though it's just very small duration. It might be 1 month. 1 month means there might be around 20 working days, plus or minus 1 or 2. There might be 20 working days. For a given worker, it might be per day it's 8 hours. That means 160 hours per month. Man hours only 160. Though it's very small man hours, we have to plan it well. What are the highest requirements? How these leaves are planned? What are the problems we can occur? What are the non-technologies? What are the non-bugs? What are the non-issues? How to deliver these dates? What are the planned leaves? What are the planned leaves? What are the unplanned leaves? There might be unplanned leaves. Likewise, everything we have to plan properly. If it is Jan 1st, immediately we have start the sprint. Then immediately we plan the 31st. what is the output on 31st. And daily sprint. Daily sprint means each and every day we follow the development team. We usually, like, if you have heard like a word like daily scrum or stand-up meeting, probably you have heard this. Usually a given slot, it might be early in the morning 9, sometimes it might be 11, sometimes it might 1 p.m. It depends on your project and your time frame uh, and the convenience of your project team. Any given time, it's a fixed time. Each and every day we will get 11 a.m. Every day. We are taking a 15 minutes to discuss about the status of our current sprint, the allocated work, the percentage. What you have to do is you have to stand up. It's a stand up. You have to tell my task is this thing and I have completed this much of percentage. Now each and every day the scrum master would ask to introduce your schedule. So what you have to do is you have to tell, I am currently allocated to login system. I have created username and I have completed validation. That means 50% completed. I just have to complete password section. It might get another 8 hours of work. Rough estimation is more than enough. Then the other one would state, this is the state of myself. Likewise, you can perform a daily sprint. Now this is a sprint. It's a lengthy process, and for the smallest thing, we are performing daily sprints. So daily wise, we are checking our progress is according to the planned progress. Now the sprint backlog. What is this sprint backlog means? We are keeping a log, the forecasted work. This is the forecasted. It's like we want to spend 5 days to complete this task, and this is the task that we have to do. These are the tasks that we have to do. For this task we want 3 days. These tasks are the we are planning to do. This is the sprint backlog, and these are the tasks that in progress. Sometimes you have heard VIP, VIP, work in progress. These are the progress. These are the current activities. These are the pending activities we have to do. These are the current activities the development team is working on. Development team is focusing on work in progress. And these are the tasks that we have completed. Every day, the Scrum Master would modify this backlog according to the development team's comment. Think a given task is completed. Now someone is allocated for this task, and someone is state it's 100% completed. Now this can removed from the in progress and we can move it into done. Think another person is telling like his work also, this one is completed. Then remove that one and allocate it to here. Then this someone will get someone, will allocate another task from here to someone. Sprint backlog means the tasks that we have to completed within this sprint. You know what is a sprint now? Sprint is this period, 1 month of period with the limited work or limited task. So we want to see where we are, what are the things that we have to complete. So this sprint backlog is a nice visualization board that represents everything related to sprint in the current sprint. The status, it's like a big picture of this current sprint. Then the product backlog. The product backlog means it represents the entire product and the different sprints with the requirements. Now this is the highest requirement, the most urgent requirement. The most urgent requirement is in here. So the first sprint is working on these requirements to completing these requirements. And think this is the plan at the sprint 1. This is the planned requirement, the highest, the top prioritized requirement in here. Now after delivering this sprint, you might realize this requirement is more worth, than this one. So what we can do is we can push this to here, and this requirement moves to down, this requirement moves to down, this requirement moves down, and this requirement jumps into the new sprint accordingly. That's the point. This requirement jumps to the next sprint. We can't entertain the new requirement in here, the sprint, because we have planned the sprint 2 and 3, and the requirement plan is like this. If a new requirement is in here, then what you can do, you have to push everything to the next, and vice versa. That means now this requirement is not required furthermore. After delivering these requirements, you have realized the product would not require these requirements. What you can do is you can upward this to here, this to here, this to here, and another sprint requirement would move to the next sprint. That's the value of this sprint backlog. We have this, sorry, the backlog, the product backlog. This is the overview. This is the overview of entire product. This is the overview of the entire product. As a bird's eye view, after completing these tasks, your product is fully functioning. But in here, your core customers would be happy, because if you are starting a new product, no one would join with you at the first level. You can't find 1 billion your user base in the first week. It's really hard. Business needs some times to grow, to populate your business. So meanwhile, you can start your initial, the urgent, most valuable functions in here. Then you can deliver step by step with the requirements. Then up to once that your product is fully completed, there might be 1 million customer base or 1 billion customer base at this point. If you move towards the traditional way, and if you do not deliver anything in these days and wait until here, this is your starting point. This is the date that you are starting your product. It's fully functioning, of course. Think it's fully functioning, perfect. But your business starts in that date. Think this is 6 months for the entire product. For a given month, think if you have earned 1 million, you have earned almost 6 millions for these 6 months. It's a profitable business, right? It's a profitable business. Management perspective, you will get a good credit. But make sure to have this product backlog properly. Next, burnout chart. What is this burnout chart is? This is the actual effort and estimated effort. Now, once you are starting a product, starting a software product, think as a software product, you might require 80 man hours. 80 man hours. Okay, 80 man hours. While it's with the time elapsing, you don't want 80 man hours because we have completed some tasks. The time would less. Now I'll give an example. If you are starting to create a login system with a username and password, if you have completed, like I have initially think about username and password, right? Now initially you might think I want 30 days. Think 30 days to complete. You have fully effort, you have given your fully effort, and you have completed, you have divided into 30 tasks, and you have completed your first task, the first day task, the first day perfectly. So in the second day, you have only 29 days effort. If you have completed that 29 days work, that means you have complete another day, then you have only 28 days effort. Now here sometimes it for the 15 days you have completed your username component. Now you just want another 15 days of work to complete your password. Think it's very unrealistic, but for the dates I'm telling about, it was easy to understand. Now this is only 15 days work, and if you have completed everything in like 7 days, you have another 7 days for testing. Or if you complete these things within 29 days, you have 1 day remaining somehow. This is your plan. You are planning to complete the task by 80 days, 70 and 60 likewise. But once it comes to actual, this line, this might be not the exact same angle and same line. It might differ time to time, project to project, resource to resource. But somehow this burnout chart would not perform exactly same like this. Now what is burnout chart? The tasks that we are completing in this sprint. The tasks that we are completing in this sprint. Simply, this is the planned line or the estimated line. But this is the actual. Initially it was 80 days and it arrives like 40 days. There's a small gap in between. Then all of a sudden, like there's flat. Effort was like fixed. No effort change. No effort change in this duration. It might be some urgent situation. The user is left for a company for uh, like this is a half day and this is another half day. So no effort changed. But in here again back to the work and completed the work in the planned time. This is really hard. Extract same start and extract same end in the product world, it's really hard because it's adjusting time to time based on the requirements and based on the development team, how they are working on the product. Somehow what you have to understand is burnout chart is a chart that representing your task, the overall, the estimated time or the estimated effort and the actual effort. You should know how much your effort it is estimated and it should be completed. Now this should be realistic. This estimated effort should realistic. Now if you have draw a line this would be highly unrealistic. Day 2 will complete this thing. It's unrealistic. Or if you plan for like here to another 2 years, it's unrealistic. As a manager, you have to be realistic and you have to understand what would be the estimated effort. I will give a small verb for you. Today you plan your working time. How much effort that you are planning, how much hours that you are planning to complete. Or not for this week. Today 1 to night 8. Evening 1 to 8. There are 8 hours. You estimate your learning hours. How much time you are drawing this on and draw the actual. It's a small activity you can do and you can understand how the behavior. Individual's behavior is the company behavior. That's the statement. So individually your actual and estimated is highly deviated. That means your company would at risk. Right. That's all about this burnout charts. Then I would like to summarize the entire story of this Scrum. Initially, there's a product backlog. That means this is the product that you are going, the master plan. For next 2 years, we are trying to complete these things with these functions. And sprint planning, you are planning to complete this backlog, divide it by dividing into planned activities. Then there's a sprint backlog. You have columns to visualize the behavior, what are the things that you have to do, and what are the things in work in progress, and what are the completed tasks. For a given sprint, you might have 1 to 3 weeks and it might be a daily scrum. So each and every day you will describe. Once your sprint is completed, there's a product that you can output. Now, once product is completed, as I initially told, a sprint should start immediately after the next sprint. Sorry, before the once sprint is completed, immediately you have to start your next sprint. This is a sprint review. What are the learned lessons? What are the problems we faced? Each and every 2 weeks, you may able to discuss about these things, or each and every 4 weeks, simply end of the sprint. It's a repeat workflow for each sprint. You will repeat the same thing, planning to respect, back to here, back to here, back to here, and you will grab one to here, then cycle, grab to here, then cycle, grab another one, cycle. Likewise you will do. Now think there's a modification, still it's okay. You will add to backlog, then your product owner would tell, no, this should be the highest prioritized, so get into here. Then it's in here, everything is down back again. This is not a very comprehensive subject, it's very easy, and I think now you are clear about, or at least some rough understanding about, this Scrum framework. Kanban. Kanban is a Japanese word actually, that's mainly focusing on uh, workflow management or the flow management system. In here we have like very simple things. Kanban is something like best fit whenever our product is limited scope to product, or our sponsor is under limited resources, or financially not too much rich. At that case, Kanban is the best fit. Not only that, but also your task is not disturbing to you. It's like relaxed working environment, Kanban. Very relaxed environment. There's a small video. We'll watch this sometimes. Now you are sleepy. We'll watch this small clip. It's around 2 to 3 minutes. We'll watch this and come back again. Right. Now I think that video provides some understanding of this Kanban mechanism or the framework. Let me give some more comprehensive understanding about this. Now you may see like a common storyboard like here. This is the state that we are starting our Kanban board, and these are the time slots that is allocated, and these are the tasks that we are completing. Different cards are there, so each and every card represents a responsibility with the responsible person. That means who is the developer or who is the tester. Usually there are different colors available for different people. Even if it is a digital Kanban board, you can assign a different color for you. So you have different cards. So what you have to do is you have to adjust these cards according to your requirement. Usually the common phrases are like in progress and completed, to do, work in progress and completed. So these tasks are like common, and what you can do is you can find an online tool. There are a lot of online tools freely available and open source, so you don't want to worry about that. You may use any tool and try by yourself a small Kanban board to plan your work. Even now you are doing a small project, right? You're finally a project or some another project. At that case, you can have a small Kanban board, personal Kanban board, and you can personally track yourself. That is not the perfect, but for learning. You will realize then you have some sort of hands-on experience on this Kanban board. Now, that's the thing that I want to deliver for you. Now, we will do like today another new thing. We will do a small activity, a group activity, in class activity, because I want to speak with you. Six Sigma. I will allocate uh, 10 minutes, since today there are five people in the team. You each one can suggest a part or the area that you want to search, and what you can do is I'll share a link with you, and you can contribute that document as a group activity, as a group unless it's like isolated, and you might think like I'm learning isolate, I feel sleepy. Ne? So I'll give 15 minutes, probably, no, not 15 minutes, I'll give uh, 10 minutes. Oh, I'll give 15 minutes, it's okay. I'll give 15 minutes to you, and you have to search it now, and you have to tell as a team. Now you people know each other, you can chat each other, and you can divide your responsibilities, and you have to uh, contribute to that document as an individual person. So we'll do this small in class activity. If you don't like to contribute, still it's okay, right? I don't care about that, right? It's for you. So basically what I can do is I'll share a link with you in the chat, right? In the chat I'll share a link. What you can do is you can contribute to that uh, document. That document is related to Six Sigma. One can discuss about what is Six Sigma. Someone can tell what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the different belts in Six Sigma. Likewise, you have to search it now, and I'll give like around 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, not too much, because we have to wrap up the session. So I'll give 10 minutes for you. As a team, you discuss what you are going to, unless everyone will tell what is Six Sigma. To avoid that, each and have to discuss. You as a you team, as a your team, as an individual team, you can share your final uh, findings in this document. Okay, do you like or you don't like, or shall we try? At least we'll try, right? As a group work, because this is project management is group work, so it's not a individual task. You have to work with others, and you have to uh, join with the team. Unless it might be a little bit boring. Okay, you may start. I'll share a link within next minute. Hello. I have shared a small Google Doc, so you can start writing in that document as a team. As a team, you can contribute the findings of your Six Sigma. What are the things that you have find in here? Okay, as I help, I have started with the introduction. You can contribute now continuously. So this link is just for you, and I don't want your identity. You can anonymously contribute to the document even if you like. I can see one is contributing. Really appreciate. Others also can contribute, please. Thank you for the student who contributed for the document. So not sure others are trying to copy paste after writing to the document. So what can I do is I'll keep this link for you, and you can discuss later on and contribute to this document, right? Regarding sometimes you might need more time. I hope some content would added into this document in next week. As an anonymous, it's okay. I don't want your identity. And if you have any questions, now you can ask regarding the today session. Okay, then thank you for today, that joining for the today session, and we will meet on next week 8:30 a.m. for next session. This software project management methodologies will discuss little bit further under the context of trend in next week, and we will move towards. And thank you. If you have any questions, still I'm here. You can ask any question as an individual person, or you can leave the call now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.